Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are FC.
Royals baseball comes to you from Kauffman Stadium for the final 3 games of the 2017 season, and the Royals need to sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks to finish at 500. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery will join us in a couple of segments. So I say you have to sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks, which is going to be tough because they're a playoff team. The Minnesota Twins clearly are the biggest surprise in the American League, but of the teams who have made the postseason in the National League, it's probably the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, and to clinch a wild card spot with a week to go in the season, that's impressive. Man, this Arizona Diamondbacks team is for real. They're loaded. They've got a little mix of homegrown talent with some free agents, along with some trades. Everything has been working well for these guys. They can pitch. That's the one key remedy for postseason games is pitching, and the Royals are going to see their top 3. You want offense? They got that too. They can score some runs. They can hit them out of the ballpark. They've got solid nucleus of power hitters on their ball club. It's not going to be easy to win 2 out of 3, let alone sweep these guys. And there's Rosie, their super utility player.
So the Royals go for a sweep, and we will continue our look back at the great careers of the championship core, and we'll talk about Mike Moustakas when we come back. On Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all or less. Well, anytime you draft a player in the first round, you have high hopes that he's going to be an impact major league player. But I remember when Mike Moustakas was drafted by the Royals, how many people said, you know what, this guy might be the one who breaks Steve Balbone's record.
And wouldn't you know it, his free agent year, he comes through with a career year. That's the best time to do it, that's for sure, for a player if you're blessed enough to play 6 years in the show. Now, Moustakas has been the most consistent power hitter all year long until the last month where he got drilled in the thigh and it kind of slowed him down some. But look at that swing. Hits off his front side. His path to the ball with his hands has been beautiful. The crowd here at the K have been loving those homers. Patting his ace 30 patch every time he hit a homer. Very special year for Mike Moustakas.
And the Royals will be facing former Royal Zach Greinke tonight. Joel and Monty are coming up next.
There's that Zach Greinke smile, traded December 19th, 2010 from the Royals to the Brewers. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery in 09. He won the Cy Young, went to the All-Star game. He's now been a 4-time All-Star and 3 Gold Gloves, but not a world champion, and that trade changed everything here in Kansas City.
Yeah, without a doubt, he had that tremendous season, one of the best seasons ever for a Royals pitcher in 2009. That really increased the value that the Royals could go out and get for him. And you look at players that had impact careers here with the Royals in exchange for Zach Greinke. I think that's one of those trades you look back on and say, what a huge difference maker Zach Greinke was in their World Championship.
And you add in the fact that Jake Odorizzi came over and was traded and helped acquire James Shields, and that helped the Royals get to the World Series in 2014. Zach Greinke, a little bit older. He is a dad now, but still cranking it out. And speaking of dads, Ian Kennedy, now the father of 5 and looking for his first home win of the year. First pitch coming up.
City is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. It is a beautiful night in Kansas City. Great weather for the last 3 games of 2017. The Royals need a sweep for a 500 season. It'll be Ian Kennedy and Zach Greinke. The lineups and the first pitch are coming up next. The Royals kick off the final series of 2017. It is also the final series for radio producer engineer Don Free. He was given an autographed jersey by the Royals, also a leather chair, and was asked to throw out the first pitch just a few moments ago. Handled well by Denny Matthews. And what a thrill it was to be down there with Don Free, who is going to get tonight off, and he's in a suite with his family.
Fantastic. And by the way, nice strike call.
It was a pitcher-friendly strike zone.
I saw your call. It's nice.
The Diamondbacks, like the Royals, they've had a big season for home runs. Their next home run will be a franchise record. One of many teams this year who have reestablished a new franchise record. In fact, 7 teams setting highs in 2017 and counting. Cincinnati and New York also have an excellent chance, so it could be 9 by the time the weekend is over. About 1/3 of major league teams setting a new single season record for home runs. Ian Kennedy, the former Diamondback, makes his 30th and final start of the season.
Yeah, you know, he's always had a great opponent average. He's had issues with the home runs, though. 33, that's a big number for him. And this year has not been the year he was expected. Had an injury earlier, he never could really recover, but his fastball is a good 4-seamer, 62% curveball, slider, change. Dave Island, the outstanding pitching coach here in Kansas City, is encouraging him to use more sliders and curveballs and get the hitters off the fastball.
Fastball is up and away to David Peralta, Diamondbacks left fielder. He has hit 14 of the 216 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kennedy, like everyone, would like to finish on a good one, as we like to say. He'd also like to win at home and put that long streak behind him. So we're not talking about that when 2018 begins.
Good point. He doesn't want that over a year, man. And you know, he's too good. He really is. He's a competitor, but he has a hard time explaining these numbers.
18 consecutive home starts without a victory. 3-2 on Peralta. Fourteen of those have been this year. Fastball at the knees, and Peralta can go pick up his bat on his way back to the third base dugout.
Yeah, that split the dish in two. No question about it. He's got to go. Look at that. 3-2. I knew Kennedy was coming in there challenging him. Beautiful knee high. Our forward around the horn Royals defense. How about Mike Moustakas? Third most starts all time by a Royals at third. Of course, the great Hall of Famer George Brett and Joe Randa, the Joker, have more starts than Moose.
Chris Iannetta makes a strike over the outside. Veteran catcher, mostly a backup in his career. And we were talking about Arizona and how well they have pitched this season. And some of the credit goes to the veteran catchers. Iannetta, always known more for his defense than his offense. Jeff Mathis, whom you saw as a young player with the Angels, who is out right now with a broken hand, a defense first catcher. And he's finishing strong. Still 0-2.
Chris Herman also gets a little bit of nod at the third catcher. So they're well rounded, no doubt. This Diamondbacks team, they clinched a playoff spot with a week to go in the season. That's impressive. They've deserved a little bit of a break, but now it's back to getting in a groove, hoping that they can put together that offense they're pitching in the bullpen for that one game wild card. And I heard Torey Lovullo, their skipper on the far left right there, talking about that today, about how they're just trying to build, get a little bit of rhythm going into Wednesday.
His bench coach is a familiar face. That's Ron Gardenhire, the former Twins manager. Hosmer to the tarp, and it's back into the crowd. Torey Lovullo, for years, was thought of as a future manager. He was a former big league infielder and then a coach for a long time. So it was just a matter of time before he became a major league manager.
That's right. We see Gardenhire right there to his left. Then Dave Magadan, Mike Butcher. Magadan hitting coach, Mike Butcher his pitching coach.
Drilled to right center field, and it's off the bottom of the wall. So Iannetta, who's having a very good September, is into second base with a one-out double.
Fastball, center cut right there. Well, it's not actually center cut, but it's elevated on the outer half, and Iannetta went with it perfectly. I mean, that's a good swing. Look, he didn't try to pull it. That bottom hand led, top hand followed. Good swing.
And now one of the best hitters, not just in the National League, but in all of Major League Baseball, Paul Goldschmidt, Diamondbacks first baseman. He has finished second a couple of times for National League MVP. He'll get votes again this year. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Third in runs scored, third in RBI. So he's been part of 237 runs this year, and third with 36 home runs. And Kennedy's ahead. No balls, 2 strikes.
He is the true definition of a beast. I mean, He's 6'3", 245 pounds, and he's all hitter. Now, he's really worked hard on his defense at first base, and now he wears a couple gold gloves.
Kennedy went at him with a fastball on 0-2. That's pretty good. Never below 297. Never fewer than 24 home runs, 95 RBIs. I guess that would be a down year for him. 297, 24 home runs, 95 driven in.
He's got him down 0-2. Don't give him anything too good. Yeah, you know, he keeps things simple. He just is very short, compact, has a great wide base. And you see how he gets started. His bat head dips below. It's almost like he's scratching his back with the barrel of the bat. It's interesting. But then when the pitch comes on the way, like every hitter, he has to get his hands in a hitting position. Watch him how he stays loose, though, right here. See, he's wiggling that bat back. It's amazing how he starts because he's comfortable there.
Wasn't ready for that. So against one of the best in baseball, Kennedy didn't mess around with him at all. Just attacked him with fastballs.
That's right. Goldschmidt, you got to go. I was going to say Goldie, but we only have one Goldie.
Yeah, and he's the mascot at the University of Minnesota.
Sorry, Joel Berg.
J.D. Martinez with a runner at second, 2 down. Who in the world had any idea what an impact J.D. Martinez would have on Arizona when he was traded from the Tigers, or rather in the driver's seat, presented by Kia. His major league rankings since the trade, the Tigers were here when he was traded to Arizona. And at the time, I think most people felt that's a nice addition. Getting a good bat. Arizona needed another bat. But my goodness, 29 home runs since changing teams, and you're talking about one of the best marks in the history of the game.
Yeah, and that's all after the first game he played in that uniform. He got drilled in the hand. Thought he broke his wrist. He's very fortunate. Obviously, you know, never playing in the National League, he told me before the game that the toughest part was he didn't know anyone. He didn't know any pitchers or anything. How to figure anybody out. So I said, well, what was the most help to you? He says, I said, was it video? Was it Dave Magadan, your hitting coach? What was it? He says, a combination of everything. Talking to my own hitters. Paul Goldschmidt was really good. He sat next to me every day. We went over some stuff. But sitting in game, watching the pitchers pitch, how they're pitching my opponents or my own hitters, really helped me. So I'm an advocate, and I know he is, of not going downstairs while the game is going on and watching video, staying out there on the bench, watching the live pitching, what he's doing to the hitters is important. And no problem for Kennedy.
Yeah, he strikes out the side and gets around the Chris Iannetta double. Zach Greinke pitches for the Diamondbacks tonight. Royals come up in the bottom of the first inning, and the championship core is in there. Ned Yost used the Detroit series to either give the players a half day or a full day off. And Ned Yost says that Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alcides Escobar, they're all going to be in there for all 3 games against Arizona. Tonight they see Zach Greinke.
Yeah, it's be a nice little challenge for him. Greinke right underneath the 200 innings mark, which is a good spot for most starting pitchers. Is a good landmark. But he's a fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. 48% fastballs he's learned how to pitch. Slider, change, curve. He's got them all. Good poise. He's a big leaguer.
0-2 on Witt. Had 4 hits and 3 runs scored in the Tigers series. .165 hits for Whit Merrifield, the most ever for a Royals second baseman. And there's number 166 on an 0-2 pitch.
Arizona Diamondbacks defense. Zach Greinke, he's good at fielding. 3-time Gold Glover.
And here's one of the guys he was traded for, Lorenzo Cain. Right at 300 with 3 games to go. Down to first, and Merrifield's back in standing. After the 2010 season, Zach Greinke had won the Cy Young 2 years prior to that. He and Yuniesky Betancourt went to the Brewers. For Lorenzo Cain, Alcides Escobar, Jake Odorizzi, and Jeremy Jeffress. No balls, 2 strikes. And that trade worked out for the Brewers. They ended up getting to the National League Championship Series in 2011. He was 0-2 on Witt, and now he's 0-2 against Cain. I don't remember that.
Is that him grunting? That can't be.
I think so.
I thought it was a fan. Huh.
I would say listen closely, but you don't have to listen closely. You could be in the other room and hear it. Sliders down and away, 1-2.
This is not a tennis match. But anyway, base stealers are successful 25 out of 32 attempts on Greinke. Iannetta, 22% he's thrown out this year.
There was an old funny story about Nolan Ryan in his heyday, which was a long time, that he would grunt only when he threw his fastball, but not with his breaking ball or his changeup. So, okay, kid, you're facing Nolan Ryan. When he grunts, that means it's a fastball. Well, by the time you hear the grunt, the ball's already in the catcher's glove.
Yeah, it's too bad. It doesn't help a hitter.
Thanks for that.
Yeah,
that's helpful.
It doesn't help. Anyway, the numbers that I gave you were Iannetta's overall numbers. Base stealers have stolen 25 bases in 32 attempts, while Iannetta's in back of the plate. Greinke, he's a lot different. I mean, he's a lot better. We talked about his fielding skills, and there's his move. You saw his move. He's a good athlete. Moves his feet quick. Base stealers only successful 5 out of 13 against Greinke. Thank you.
There goes Witt. The pitch is a strike, and that's a double play. So Kane called out. Merrifield is thrown out.
Sometimes you get distracted by the runner taking off. Locane thought it was in, and Iannetta throws a perfect ball down there. Had the ball been thrown up above the base, Whitley would have gotten his hand underneath it, but you just got to tip your cap to Iannetta.
Melky Cabrera takes in the dirt ball one. Melky has the 8th most hits in the American League, 176. Fastball at 90. 2 balls and no strikes. And a base hit into left center field. That caught stealing was a big item. And Melky Cabrera has a 2-out double.
Makes Melky 5 for 19 in his career. Good swing, nice and easy. Took advantage of a fastball that was right on over the middle of the plate. Well placed.
A 30 double season for Melky Cabrera. That's the 5th time in his career that he has had a 30 or more double season. Fastball in there to Eric Hosmer. The Tigers held him to 1 for 10. So he still needs 11 hits to reach 200. Last time the Royals had a player with 200 hits in a season was Melky Cabrera. 2011, when all the young players were called up for the first time.
Haas looking for his first hit off of Greinke's 0 for 7.
Breaking ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Greinke has won 17 this year. Our Toyota League leaders since 2011, his first year with the Brewers. Only Max Scherzer has had as many 13+ win seasons as Zach Greinke. Wide open on the left side. So Hosmer with 2 strikes puts the ball in play, and he drives in a run.
Right before I was getting ready to talk about another team playing Hosmer to pull. It's not advisable. Of course, I am not a scout or a coach, so I can't tell you that I don't see all their spray charts, but watching Haas all year, he wears that out. Now, he saw this. Look at, there's just one fielder over there. Typically, the third baseman is going to be playing around the shortstop if they're playing him on a pole like that. So Jake Lamb was over enough to where all Haas had to do was bounce it through that left side.
Ball 1 outside to Mike Moustakas. Moustakas got some time off in the Tigers series and had just 5 at-bats, and that's grounded sharply into right field. Hosmer will make the turn, and he'll go to third. And the Royals have 4 hits in the first against Greinke.
And it's not going to get any easier here, but we see this look like another fastball that he's missing out over the middle. Moose, even though they're playing him to pull, he hit it hard enough by him. So an early visit by Mike Butcher, pitching coach.
This is the 4th time that Greinke has pitched here for another team. The Royals saw him twice in 2012 with 2 different teams. First with the Brewers, and I remember that one because Alex Gordon homered on his first pitch of the game when Alex was leading off, and then he came back later in the year after he'd been traded to the Angels. And then the Royals last saw him here in 2014 when he was pitching for the Dodgers. So a good ERA, but no wins. His teams are 0-3 in those games, and the Royals are the only major league team he has never beaten. And now Brandon Moss with runners at first and third and 2 down. And he takes a big rip. 0-1.
Yep, Moss, he's got some success, or had some success off of Greinke. He's got 3 hits and 13 at-bats. 2 of those have left the building, homers.
One ball, 1 strike.
Change up, see how that ball sails away. It started inside to Moss, ended up 3 inches off the plate. Nice movement.
One and 2. So Greinke's ahead, but that hasn't been a problem in this inning. Merrifield was down 0-2. He singled. Hosmer was down 1-2, and he drove in a run. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Greinke has had 5 days to study the Royals. Does his homework. Baseball players have very good memories, especially about their opponent and what their opponent's done against them. So Greinke knows well that Moss has taken him deep a couple of times, so he's not going to give him the straight one if he doesn't have to.
Curveball struck him out. So it took 23 pitches, and the Royals take the lead. With 2 down, Eric Hosmer drives in Melky Cabrera for a 1-0 lead.
Looking for that elusive first home win of the year. Maybe it'll happen in his first start after the birth of his first son, now father of 5. And, you know, we told you when he was making that start in Chicago last weekend about what a whirlwind it was. I hadn't had a chance to talk to him yet, so he had just got back. And now some of the details. Guys, the Royals left Toronto on Thursday night. He flew with the team on the charter, and that was about 8 days ago. The team landed in Chicago early Friday morning. He got to bed around 2:30. He had a call from his wife, Allison, who was due on Saturday. She said she wasn't feeling right, or maybe the contractions something seemed a little bit off. Obviously, she's been through this a few times. He tried to sleep, he could not. He booked a flight home for 6:30 or so in the morning and found out that she was going into labor, so he never really slept. He headed to the airport at 4:30 in the morning on Friday. He gets onto the plane and gets the call that the baby is being delivered. He is sitting in his seat on a commercial flight watching the birth of his first son on FaceTime with tears streaming down his face, and the flight attendant, having no idea what's going on, says, "Sir, are you okay? Can I get you some Kleenex? Are you going to be okay?" Unfortunately, that one is going to be gone, but ends up seeing the birth of his baby via FaceTime, gets there to hold his baby, back to Chicago to pitch a couple of days later.
And good luck keeping your focus out of all that. I mean, you can say you're on the mound trying to stay focused, but much easier said than done as Jake Lamb ties the game at 1.
I'll say 30th homer there above the belt. Already elevated. Just put a good, easy, level swing on it. He's got pop.
So now the Diamondbacks officially have a new franchise record for home runs. That is 217, breaking the record from 1999. Ball one on A.J. Pollock, and now he hits it off the end of the bat and drops it into center field. He can run. He takes a wide turn, but he'll hold with a single. So one of 7 major league teams and counting who have set a new franchise record for home runs this year. And now Daniel Descalzo. And we saw him quite a bit when he was playing for the Cardinals. Shallow center field. Kane makes a play. That is out number 1. It is also a career high for Ian Kennedy, allowing 34 home runs this year. More home runs have been hit this season than any other season in Major League history. And that was with a couple of weeks left in the season.
Yeah, how about that? Plenty of room to spare.
Brandon Drury will serve as the Diamondbacks designated hitter tonight. Ball one, down and away. Arizona just waiting to see who they will face on Wednesday in the wild card. I imagine they're expecting to see the Rockies, a team from their own division. The Brewers would have to sweep a series in St. Louis, and the Rockies would have to be swept at home by the Dodgers for Milwaukee to make it. So it's very likely that it'll be the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, the two biggest surprises in the National League, playing in the wild card. Diamondbacks last year, they lost 93 games. They were one of the biggest disappointments in the National League last year.
Yeah. Cost a few executives their jobs.
Right center field, deep but playable. Kane is there. 2 down. Tomorrow it's Fan Appreciation Night, presented by Sprint. Every ticket scanned at the ballpark will be entered for a chance to win fan appreciation prizes, including autograph items, game tickets, gift cards, and more. Get your tickets at Royals.com. We hope to see you tomorrow. And now Ketel Marte, we saw him last year with the Mariners. Marte and pitcher Taijuan Walker came over from Seattle during the offseason. It was a deal that sent Gene Segura to the Mariners. Segura had over 200 hits last year for Arizona, and they traded him away, and Seattle ended up signing him to a long-term contract.
And he had a good year this year. He's strong.
Switch hitting shortstop, who hasn't spent a whole lot of time in the big leagues this year. Spent the first 3 months at AAA for Arizona. Didn't get to the Diamondbacks until the end of June. One and 0. Well, what the Diamondbacks have done, what the Rockies have done, what the Twins have done this year, have given a lot of teams hope that it doesn't take very long to get back into it again. I mean, if you lose 103 games like Minnesota did 10-15 years ago, I mean, you're talking about 3, 4, 5 years to get back into it. But Arizona, they have a knack for turning things around. Their first year of existence was 98. They lost 97. The next year they won 100. In 2010 they lost 97. The next year they won 94. 93 losses last year, 92 so far this year.
It's kind of like the San Francisco Giants winning World Series every other year. Not exactly. Interesting.
Jake Lamb's home run ties the game at 1. wild card in the National League. Colorado needs a win or a Milwaukee loss. And Nolan Arenado, what a year. 37 home runs, 130 RBIs. Colorado has a 3-0 lead over the Dodgers in the bottom of the second inning. Milwaukee has a 1-0 lead at St. Louis in the top of the third. Alcides Escobar, another player involved in the Zach Greinke trade, takes a slider for a strike. Escobar, Gordon, and Butera. It'll always be remembered in general terms as the Zach Greinke trade, but Dayton Moore is quick to remind us the role that Yuniesky Betancourt played in that trade. Very easy to forget about him. Martinez waits in right field, and the Royals wanted Escobar, and the Brewers were willing to give him up, but they were giving up their shortstop, and they only agreed to the deal if the Royals added Yuniesky Betancourt. So it could have been Zach Greinke for Lorenzo Cain, Jeremy Jeffress, and Jake Odorizzi. No Alcides Escobar.
Ooh, man. That would have been good. I don't believe the Royals knew they were getting an Iron Man either. A guy that can play every day. Escobar, man, he's a machine. Alone what he's done to anchor the world champions down at short.
One and one on Alex Gordon. Two balls, one strike. The first time that Zach pitched here, Alex hit his first pitch of the game for a home run. If you go back to 08, the year before Zach won the Cy Young, look at where he ranks in all the important pitching categories. He's jammed, but he muscles it up the right field line and almost got it fair. He had pitched in the rotation and as a reliever in 07, and then back to the rotation full time in 08. So since then, second in wins, second best winning percentage, and tied for the second most quality starts. But no World Series, and that's why he wanted out. Three and two. Changeup struck him out. And that's 3 strikeouts for Greinke.
Another changeup again, staying off the plate. Nicely executed.
When Danny Duffy started last year in the bullpen and came back to the rotation with a lot of success, we used this story quite a bit. Zach Greinke, before he had that stint in the bullpen in 07, his career ERA was over 5. His overall record was 17 games under 500. And he really changed his approach when he went to the bullpen. He went from a finesse guy to a power guy, and it looked like the Royals had a closer in the making. But he went back to the rotation, and that move to the bullpen really paid off. 10 games over 500 and an ERA of under 3.5 after he went back into the rotation and stayed there.
And I would guess a starter that moved to the pen would count that as a demotion, but really talking to a few of those guys, they say a lot's learned by doing that. Learn how to simplify, maybe eliminate some of the pitches that you might use as a starter. And you know, concentrate on 2 basic pitches depending on what kind of reliever. Are you a long reliever, a short reliever? but it certainly worked. I remember Danny Duffy, man, it really got him down. It got him from that heavy breathing. I remember how hyper he used to be. He had to focus and he had to throw strikes. I don't know if that's how it was with Greinke, but it works for a lot of guys.
With Greinke at the time, it was more about just him having the ability to pitch more often. He dreaded the time in between starts. And he had a chance to spend some time with David Riskey, a veteran reliever that ended his career with the Royals and helped turn his career around. On the ground to Lamb. Goldschmidt off the bag and tags out Butera, and the Royals are down in order in the second inning. The third inning. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. This was a loss for the Diamondbacks when Yasmani Tomas went down in June with a groin injury. He had 31 home runs for Arizona last year, playing the infield and then finally to the outfield. But guys like David Peralta have filled in nicely. On base percentage is .350. He has hit 14 home runs and he has scored 82 runs.
It's not bad for a guy who started his pro career as a pitcher for 3 years. Pretty interesting story, this guy, man. So he got released. He was with the Cardinals. They released him after 3 years. He was only 21 years old. He went home and his family and friends said, hey, why don't you keep going? Let's go, you're young. I like that. They encouraged him and he stayed at it and he worked hard and he became a position player. It's a great story.
Just harder to do. You see much more often the position player who becomes a pitcher as opposed to the pitcher who becomes the position player.
Right. But you know, that makes even what former Cardinal Rick Ankiel did even more impressive. Same thing. But it takes work. You just don't flip a switch. You have to be able to work hard, be dedicated, have passion, and believe in yourself. It'll never happen.
That'll be out of play. Peralta struck out. Kennedy struck out the side in the first inning. And then Jake Lamb greeted him with a home run in the second. 3-2. Little bit high. Tried to get him with a 3-2 changeup. And that's Kennedy's first walk. Tomorrow is the last memorable moments bobblehead of the season. The first 20,000 fans will receive an exclusive George Brett bobblehead presented by Konica Minolta, commemorating the 25th anniversary of his 3,000th career hit. So go to Royals.com, an area price chopper location, or call 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Chris Iannetta doubled, going to the opposite field in the first inning. And now Drew Butera is a bit concerned, so he'll jog out and have a little chat with Kennedy. Well, it's been a rough year for Ian, obviously, with his ERA at 5.5, and battled some shoulder fatigue. He has had a hamstring injury. But by making his 30th start this year, he is one of only 3 pitchers in the major leagues who have had 8 consecutive 30-start seasons. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the other 2 names are pretty impressive. Only Ian Kennedy, John Lester, and Max Scherzer have had 8 straight seasons with at least 30 starts among active pitchers.
Strong. Obviously, mechanics are flawless. You can't throw that many innings or that many starts if you don't have good mechanics, or you'll break down somewhere along the line. I remember they worried about Max Scherzer. They thought he was going to break down. Never did. Horse. Gavilia. Getting ready.
Just outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Kennedy has never been on the disabled list with an arm injury.
That's impressive. Good spot there. Could have been given to him, wasn't.
That's a nice touch. Every major league umpire this weekend is wearing a patch that says BM for Bob Motley, the former Negro Leagues umpire, Kansas Cityan, Royal Lancer. His daughter Bobette was honored in the Buck O'Neil Legacy seat at last night's game, and Bob Motley was very influential in the very beginning of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, and that has to be the best umpire picture in the history of baseball. Any level, any league, any country. Fouled away. Peralta was running on the pitch.
What a cool shot of that umpire. He had some style points, didn't he? It's nice they honored his daughter the other night.
Peralta runs again. That's a strikeout and a double play.
Hey, the Royals got caught to strike him out, throw him out, and they returned the favor. Perfect throw.
And with that McDouble play, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow at participating McDonald's in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations. So Goldschmidt comes up with nobody on base. And he takes a strike, and Kennedy struck him out looking in the first inning. Fastball with great location, and it's 0-2. One and two on Goldschmidt. Two balls, two strikes. Back in 2009, Ian Kennedy had surgery for an aneurysm in his right biceps. Would you consider that a pitching related arm injury?
No.
All right, just wanted to clarify, and saying that he had never been on the DL with an arm injury. I would agree with you. So the leadoff walk doesn't haunt Kennedy. He gets a strikeout, throw out, double play. He strikes out Goldschmidt a second time, and Kennedy has 5 tonight. One of the best in history, Phil Witt, known throughout Kansas City as the main news anchor at Fox 4. He was at the station for 38 years, 45 years in the business, and he is retiring. 4 decades as an award-winning local broadcast journalist. And Phil also partnered with dozens of community organizations and brought attention to their mission by elevating their message to viewers. Particularly proud of his feature, Reaching for Excellence, celebrating young people with bright futures. So Phil Witt, great guy. Glad he's here at the ballpark, and Phil, congratulations. Merrifield into the left field corner. Fair ball. And number 19. Every time we talk about Phil Witt, the Royals hit a home run.
That's right. Maybe because Phil Witt is a fan of Witt. Look at this little leg kick, not much, didn't have to load much. He's got great hands though. That's a bomb. Wow, that ball was high and far. It's deep, and it's a homer. Hey, one more, and Whitley's got an even 20. Beautiful.
Well, we've been telling you his significance in Royals history and what he's done as a second baseman this year, but let's start talking about American League history. If he can hit one more home run in the next 3 games, he is in very, elite company. Kane struck out looking, and a strikeout throwout double play in the first inning, which was big for the Diamondbacks. And the count is 0-2. Witt is trying to become just the 5th American League second baseman with 20 or more home runs, 30 or more doubles, and 30 or more stolen bases. He has the doubles and the stolen bases out of the way.
Now Whitley's listed in 6'1", 195, but at this time of the season, I bet he's not 195. I bet he's played down to probably 185. He's done quite, maybe not that big, but I'll just tell you how strong his hands are and how good his swing is, how mechanically sound it is. Very fluid. And he went to the one-hand takeoff, the top hand takeoff swing, to try to generate some more backspin, give a little bit more carry on the ball, as he used to have two hands on the bat all the way through the follow-through, two hands on. Now we've seen this year him use the two-hand method, and we've seen a lot of his homers with the one-hand takeoff, but either one works. But he's been using it more with the one-hand takeoff.
Kane grounds out to Marte, one away.
Let's show you that beautiful swing one more time. There it is. Now the head, notice one thing, the foot goes, but the head's always the same. The head stays right there, it doesn't move. And that way, therefore, if your head doesn't move, the ball doesn't move. If your head moves, the ball moves, because your eyes are in your head last time I checked.
Melky doubled and scored in the first inning. Strike with a fastball at 90. One and one. Two balls, one strike. That fastball was at 92, and that's about as high as Greinke has gone tonight when he was pitching out of the bullpen. We were talking about last inning. 97, 98. Greinke fields, cuts off Melky, and tags him out. Two down. Our Sprint trivia question for tonight: name the 4 Cy Young Award winners that pitched for the Diamondbacks at some point in their career. They didn't necessarily win it with Arizona like Zack Greinke, so there's 3 more. Zack won it with the Royals and then eventually pitched for Arizona.
I got 2 former teammates, I'm going to guess. Randy Johnson.
Okay, I'll give you a curtsy for that.
And Curt Schilling.
Curt Schilling, I don't believe ever won a Cy Young, did he? Nope.
Okay, my bad. It's just a guess.
So you got Randy Johnson. Hosmer grounds it to the left side, and with the overshift, that's the third baseman Lamb to throw him out. Hosmer drove in a run in the first inning. It's Futures Night at Kauffman Stadium tonight. That's Nicky Lopez, one of the minor league players of the year, and he'll be with Joel when we come back. will be a Royals Player of the Year someday. Those are the top 4 levels of the Royals minor leagues, pitcher and players of the year, and they were honored on the field before the game, going all the way down to the Dominican Summer League, all the way up to AAA. And one of the winners, Nicky Lopez, is standing by with Joel.
Yeah, how about a left-handed hitting shortstop for you? Started the year in Wilmington, finished real strong second half in Double-A. Nicky, congratulations on being a Player of the Year. What's it like being out here tonight for you?
It's unbelievable. The atmosphere here is crazy. When I was on the field, I was staring up at it and just taking it all in. It's, I mean, just crazy. Like, it's September right now and just tons of fans, and just something I want to be a part of in the future.
It's amazing how quickly things can change. You were telling me, being a Chicago kid, your family all Cubs fans, and I'm sure they're enjoying that, but they'll quickly switch over to Royals when you get to this level. When you look out there and you see these guys, how much do you think about that future?
Oh, I think about it almost every day. As a little kid, I dreamed of playing here. Was in the backyard working on my game, you know, just running around. But yeah, like I said, I dreamed about it, and you know, it's close. Like you kind of see how close it is when you move on up in the ranks. So just something I've been working hard for.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember seeing Jacob Junis up here last year with his little twins and Double-A Pitcher of the Year, and he's been one of the incredible bright spots for the Royals this year. Talk about your days at Creighton. I know a great leader, a guy that's out there every single day, loves baseball, but playing your college ball not too far from here.
No, it was awesome. There's a big Kansas City Royals fan base in Omaha, Nebraska, and our AAA is not too far down the road either. So it was really cool playing under Coach Ed Service. He kind of embodies what Royals baseball is all about as well. He kind of likes the faster players. He does small ball, defense first kind of thing, and just plays the game hard. So when I got drafted by the Royals, I was really thankful for it because I know what this organization stands for.
The amazing thing is that you were drafted last year in the 5th round, and here you are standing looking dapper in the suit, talking about hopefully being in the big league soon. And what you just described at Creighton, that's really your game, isn't it, right? Contacting speed?
They everyone says how big of a ballpark Kauffman Stadium is, and I played at TD Ameritrade, so it was kind of a big ballpark there, but it just kind of suits my game. You know, I don't try to hit home runs. I get lucky once in a while, but yeah, that's the biggest thing, just kind of hit gaps. And like I said, when I got drafted by the Royals, I felt like it was like home, you know. So
last thing for you, one of the cool things I think always is that when the Players of the Year, the Futures Night guys get here, you really have that chance to see all of Kansas City, not just Kauffman Stadium and signing autographs for the fans, but getting out to the hospital, the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. What was that experience like for you?
It was tremendous. You really don't know what you have until you kind of see things like this. And we got a good tour at the Negro League facility, and it was kind of eye-opening to see what they kind of had to go through. And then we went to the hospital where I actually had to me and a couple of my teammates had to go upstairs to the children's section and see what they're kind of going through. And you kind of you take it for granted sometimes of what we have, and it kind of just opens your eyes, and you know, you're just blessed for like what we're doing. You know, we're just playing baseball, and it's just a game, and sometimes we take that for granted. So it's cool to see.
Fantastic perspective. We're really excited about what you've done in your first full season of pro baseball. You played for Jamie Quirk, Vance Wilson, hoping soon we get a chance to see you play for Ned Yost. Congratulations, Nicky, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, there you go, Hud. I think it's safe to say you're going to like this guy if you don't already.
Whoa, are you kidding me? While you were interviewing, and a nice job, by the way, Joel. He's well-spoken. I was checking out some numbers on him. Do we have a possible another Whitley in the making? 21 steals, 52 walks, 52 strikeouts. That means he's got a little pride in his game. He's left-handed hitter. Oh, man. Could be exciting, folks. Well-spoken. Handsome young man.
Apparently, I'm not going to like him, though.
No. You will. Believe it. We all will. It's going to be awesome.
I like him already.
Believe it.
I've never met him.
Wow.
A.J. Pollock singled to center in the second inning. And now a line drive to left, and Alex was thinking about coming up to make the play, but that ball had a lot of overspin, and Pollock is 2 for 2.
I think Rusty Coons has some competition for hair model, being a hair model, because Nicky Lopez, man, he's got a nice little coif, not a hair out of place.
Drew Butera.
Yep, Drew's in trouble too. I wouldn't call it trouble. They're all good looking.
Strike on Descalso. He flied to center in the second inning. Kennedy has struck out 6 in 3 2/3 innings. He got knocked around on Sunday at Chicago, and Joel was detailing his traveling adventures to get home to be with his wife Allison and his 5th child, little baby Isaac, and then to get back to Chicago and pitch. So he got knocked around in that game, but he also struck out 7. 1 ball and 1 strike. Butera backhands. 2-1. Well hit into left center field, but Kane is there. He ran down 2 in this inning. You got Lamb for the 2nd out and Descalso for the 3rd out.
Beautiful job.
Well, here's what Joel and Nicky Lopez were talking about, the pitchers and players of the year at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum earlier today. Hit the ball hard and deep in the 4th inning, but both made outs. This is the play against Descalso to end the inning.
Okay, now look at the route he took. It wasn't the exact direct route he wanted, but because you have speed, makes up for a lot of different angles that you might take out there. Beautiful play by Locane. That was nice. He started across the field to left, and then he hooked it right back out towards that ball. Locane can.
Mike Moustakas just guides it into center field, so he beats the overshift, as Eric Hosmer did in the first to get an RBI, and Moustakas is 2 for 2.
Nicely done. Iannetta sitting up out there. That ball was 4 inches outside, and Moose went with it. There you go. That's another reason why Mike Moustakas hitting over 270. Using the whole field.
Brandon Moss. Greinke got him with a curveball in the first inning. Merrifield opened the inning with a single, and then Kane struck out. Merrifield was thrown out on the same play, so there were 2 outs and nobody on, and then Cabrera doubled, Hosmer singled, Moustakas singled, so the Royals were rallying with 2 outs, and then Greinke got the strikeout against Moss. That time he throws him a changeup, and it's 1-1.
Moss got 1 fastball in his last time up against Greinke. I don't think Zach's going to throw him too many heaters. He just, tags those. Now here comes one. All right, see if he keeps it away from him.
2-1. Well, he's had a lot of success. We've gone over that a few times in the first few innings, but he doesn't have the same fastball that he had when he won the Cy Young here. Changeup.
It's a tricker. It's a fooler right here. See, that starts on the inside part of the plate, moves away. It's the change of speed, the arm speed of the fastball, and that whole thing that tricks the batter. But I don't think Torey Lovullo has announced his wild card game starter, but 5 days from now is Wednesday.
4 strikeouts for Greinke.
Not going to get anything straight. If you do, it's going to be a setup pitch. That's what he wants Moss to do.
Zach Greinke, Randy Johnson, and
Max Scherzer. But we need one more.
Need one more.
And
4 Cy Young winners that pitched for the Diamondbacks at some point in their career.
I'm having a hard time with the last guy. I believe I know, but I just can't. I mean, it's not.
Now this is the guy who did it with Arizona.
Not a big name, not a huge name, right? Not a big name, but still, if you win a Cy Young, you've done something in your career. I'm not trying to say that, but I mean, just not a familiar name that we're used to. Go ahead, throw it out there. Uncle.
Brandon Webb.
Brandon Webb,
a sinker specialist.
Wow. Good question.
Johnson and Webb were the only ones who won it with Arizona. And as we were talking about earlier, Max Scherzer, you think about him with the Nationals, you think about him with the Tigers, but he was actually drafted and signed by the Diamondbacks, and one of the reasons he was traded away was some in the organization at the time felt like his mechanics were too violent to be a starter, that he would just be a reliever. Yeah. Back to Greinke. Out at second. Double play. 1-4-3. And the Royals send 3 to the plate in the 4th inning. That was number 19 for Whit Merrifield, and that's the difference right now. So the Royals lead 2-1 to the 5th inning. Ian Kennedy has given up 1 run in 4 innings. He has struck out 6. That's fouled back by Brandon Drury. He flied out to center field in the 2nd inning. One and one. At one point in the early innings tonight, Ned Yost had the bullpen active behind Kennedy. Got around a 1-out double in the 1st, a home run and a single in the 2nd, a leadoff walk in the 3rd, and a 2-out single in the 4th. 1 run, 4 hits allowed by Kennedy.
And Giolito got up, and I believe, I don't know this for sure, Ian Kennedy said, excuse me, Gaviglio, my bad. Sam Gaviglio was up, and Kennedy said, no, you're not coming in, and he bared down. Fonzie, come on now.
We'll let him slide for a couple because Alfonso Marquez is part of one of the greatest moments in Royals history. So was the Royals catcher tonight. I'm sure they had something to talk about at some point tonight. Changeup. And Kennedy has struck out 7 in 4 1/3 innings. Drew Butera was behind the plate. Alfonso Marquez was the home plate umpire. The best part about that story, well, the second best part about that story, the first is that, was that Drew Butera's father, Sal, who was a big league catcher, told Drew that if a home plate umpire has a good game, at the end of the game tell him, good job. You had a good strike zone. You know, normally we only talk about umpires when they do something bad. So a called third strike to Wilmer Flores, and you can imagine the adrenaline rush, and it's every catcher's dream to catch a strikeout to end a World Series and to run out to the mound. But after one step, he stopped and told Alfonso Marquez, good job. Witt comes in and makes a play on Marte, and 2 down. And in doing so, then he ran into Wilmer Flores on his way back out to the mound, and then was part of the celebration.
You know, this goes to show you listen to your mom and dad. They're going to teach you manners. Manners are huge. They come into play. Believe it. Way to go, Drew. You know, and I saw that right there, Rhino. You know what I wanted to say so badly just now, but you were in the right in the good story. Waiter, check please. I'm missing. That was beautiful, man. That was special. And you know, this week it's been fun to kind of relive some of those moments, and they just never stop.
Well, as fate would have it, Alfonso Marquez umpires home plate during this final series.
Yeah.
And I think if Drew had forgotten to say anything to Alfonso Marquez, I think Alfonso would have understood, considering the situation.
Now, I believe Alfonso got himself a World Series ring as well. And that was a special moment for him in his career, to just be behind the plate in that wonderful game. They get on. They get rings. Umpires get rings for All-Star games and World Series. Ian, hang in there, bud. Way to go.
His first 1-2-3 inning. Showstopper. Let's go to Cleveland. Jose Ramirez, 2 more doubles tonight. He has 55. That's the most in the big league since '09. Cleveland has won 100 games. Houston has won 99 games, so they're still duking it out for best record in the American League and home field advantage. Houston is at Boston. That's where they'll finish the regular season. Cleveland at home against Chicago.
Did you see Nicky Delmonico's route he took on that double? Oh, he'd like a redo on that one.
Greinke has allowed an RBI single to Eric Hosmer and a home run to Whit Merrifield. 2-1. He has thrown 63 pitches. There is a soft pitch limit tonight of 80 for him as he has his final tune-up before the wild card game. And when I say soft, it doesn't mean that he's going to come out right at 80 pitches. If he's at 78 and there's one more batter to go, then they'll take him out. But David Hernandez warms up in the bullpen as he is approaching 70. He struck out Alex with a changeup, and now he has him out in front with a 3-1 changeup. Still 3-2. The Major League Baseball postseason is almost here, and you can watch it on FS1 beginning with the ALDS on October 5th. Alex walks, leading off the 5th inning.
Folks, help support Team Up for Down Syndrome, an organization dedicated to strengthening and empowering those special needs to help them reach their full potential. Purchase your special Day at the K theme ticket for Sunday. It's coming up. Each theme ticket package includes a $5 donation to Team Up for Down Syndrome, as well as a special Day at the K t-shirt. Get your theme ticket at Royals.com/theme tickets. Hope to see you here. It's gonna be a great day. Final day of the year, 2:15 start. It'll be great.
That pitch was close, and ball one on Drew Butera. Out on a ground ball to third in the 2nd inning. Alex is running, and perhaps a hit and run as Butera fouls it away.
It's a great idea. It's going to help the hitter a lot when he sees swing at this pitch right here. And Drew tried to shoot it to right, just couldn't quite stay on top. The hole was there. Mitch was just telling Alex that was the right pitch. He had everything going right there for it. Would have worked. Just couldn't stay on top of the ball.
Called strike, and it's 1-2. Salvador Perez came out in the middle of the game last night with tightness in his left groin, and Ned Yost shared before the game tonight that that's something else that he has been dealing with the last 2 weeks, in addition to that muscle on his right side. He did not go. Talking to Ned Yost about that before the game tonight, and I said, you know, when we heard that Salvi came out with the left groin, my first reaction was, boy, how did he do that? And then immediately I thought to myself, what does a catcher's body feel like the last week of the regular season? I mean, what isn't hurting?
I mean, we've seen Salvi take foul tips on every part of his body this year, at least.
Sitting right next to Pedro Grifol, as he normally is, Royals catching instructor. Ground ball foul outside of third base. Constantly talking baseball. Every time I talk to Pedro about Salvi, there is some part of the conversation has something to do with Salvi being hard on himself and wanting to get better in another area. And sometimes Royals coaching staff needs to remind Salvi, you know, don't beat yourself up. You're doing fine. I mean, work at it. You don't kill yourself over something that you're already good at. Like hitting this year. 27 home runs, 80 RBIs, new career highs. That's a little bit high. And Greinke has walked 2 to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. And that may be it. It is. So 75 pitches. Greinke's been around a long time, but on Friday at Miami, he gave up 8 runs in 4 innings. Tonight at Kauffman Stadium, he wasn't very sharp, and he exits after walking the 8 and 9 hitters in the bottom of the 5th inning. David Hernandez is a Chevy call to the bullpen. It is 2-1 Royals thanks to our Ram drive of the game. This was Whit Merrifield leading off the 3rd.
Beauty. Only question was it going to stay fair?
He is singled and he is homered. 1 away from 20 home runs. So his batting average is at .290. And he bats with 2 on and nobody out. Slider is outside. Ball 1 from Hernandez.
Hernandez, he's a big, strong young man. 6'3", 245, 32 years young. Low to mid-90s. Ooh, and he got a nice little slider there. Saw that. Change up. Keep it down underneath the bat. Matter of fact, Whitley swung under it.
Two balls and 1 strike. That home run also accounted for Witt's 78th RBI of the year. Frank White has the team record with 84. Got a pop up to the right side. And it's Descalso. You get the feeling Descalso was out there just waiting for Martinez to cut him or call him off, and he never did.
Tell you what, it sure doesn't help when you're trying to make that play in the opponent's ballpark. And our crowd here is all worked up tonight, and they had that big old yell at the end there. And when you're trying to catch that ball, by the way the crowd yells, you think that there's going to be a collision. So having to battle the home crowd when you're the opponent from another city is not easy.
Kane goes after a first pitch slider. He is struck out and grounded out to short.
When Zobrist doinked that ball in between Batista and was that Goins? Who was it? Was it Goins? There was they said that they hurt the crowd, messed them up on that play, and that's when Locane ended up coming around the bases. Crowd will get you sometimes.
Oh, and 2 on Kane, who is at 299. Trying to become the 6th Royal in history with 3 300 seasons, 300 or higher. Still 0-2.
Borderline. It's a little nerve-wracking, really, when you're this close to 300 and you're got just a couple games left. He needs a few hits. There's no question about it.
George Brett had 10. Mike Sweeney and Hal McRae had 5. Willie Wilson had 4, and Billy Butler had 3. 1-2. Peter Moylan loosens up in the Royals bullpen. Ian Kennedy has gone 5. Up the right field line, slicing away from Martinez, but he makes the play. So 2 on, nobody out has become 2 on and 2 out. Remember a couple of years ago, JD Martinez went running into the right field corner here at Kauffman Stadium and broke his wrist.
Yep, when he was with the Tigers. I remember that.
It was his throwing hand too, right? Didn't he have to throw the ball back to the infield?
Yes.
No, it was his elbow. It was his right elbow. And remember at the time it didn't appear to be a violent collision with the wall, but he just hit the right spot or the wrong spot, depending how you want to look at it, and then had to unload a throw. Melky Cabrera doubled with 2 outs in the first inning and scored a run, and he is grounded back to the pitcher. On the ground to Descalso. So good opportunity for the Royals with back-to-back walks, but Hernandez comes out of the bullpen and gets Merrifield, Kane, and Cabrera. is brought to you by Jeep. Hurry in for great deals during the Jeep Celebration event. It only happens once a year. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And it was another fine season for King Richard and Sign Girl Sam. It's also been a good year for Peter Moylan, making his 78th appearance. He's a Chevy call to the bullpen, and he comes on with nobody on base, which is rare for him. He has inherited 63 runners this year, most in the major leagues.
Sure has been impressive. Look at that. A nice slider. Couple different speeds to his slider. Hard sinker. I'll say 90, 91. Firm.
Escobar charges in. He does not have a fast runner to deal with. Iannetta is 1 for 3. Well, if you're thinking about season tickets for next year, now is the time to renew. And if you do so by November 6th, you'll receive an exclusive Salvador Perez All-Star bobblehead. Renew today by logging on to your My Royals tickets account at royals.com/myticks. It'll be the 50th year of Royals baseball next season. Ian Kennedy went 5 innings. And he struck out 7, including Paul Goldschmidt twice. So he qualifies for the win. Labored a bit in the first 3 innings. And then ended up retiring 9 of the last 10. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Finished strong, and like to see the smile on his face there. Heck yeah, way to go, Ian. That's it. Looking for big things next year from you. No pressure.
Woo. 2-2 on Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt has struck out 3 times. 2 down in the 6th inning.
It's that sidewinder. That's the one designed to finish off the plate like that. Just had him waving at it. Embarrassing for a hitter, but not of Goldschmidt's stature, obviously. But he'll throw you off balance with the best of them. That's Moylan. Second most all time without a decision. Amazing. Randy Choate, he was a left-handed sidewinder, wasn't he?
He came up with the Yankees, I believe. Also pitched for the Diamondbacks for a while. And almost hit Martinez. And that, I think, is a manager's biggest fear for the stretch run, is somebody getting hurt right before the playoffs. Randy Choate was a left-handed specialist. Well, I'll bet at least half of his appearances were for fewer than 1 inning. Drilled to the gap in right center. And Melky cuts it off. Martinez is digging for 2. And he's in there. He had struck out in his first 2 at-bats. And now he's at second base with 2 outs.
He earned that double. Pete went back-to-back sinkers. First one way in off the plate. This one here. And JD Martinez has one of the best inside-out swings in baseball.
And now left-hand batter with power coming up, and Jake Lamb. And Ned Yost makes a call to the bullpen for Scott Alexander. Is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler with Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery, director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Kevin Cedergren, our associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and Brian Shapiro. And this is Scott Alexander, and that 2.49 ERA is the best among major league rookies this year and the 4th lowest in Royals history for a rookie.
Keep her down right here. He's looking for a big out now with the lefty up there. He'll go sinker slider. Hold on to this lead for Kennedy. Pin to win.
Lamb in the 2nd inning hit his 30th home run, driving in his 104th run of the year.
Good looking swing that was. That's the only run.
(3-0), and Alexander didn't like his footing on that stride, so he's kicking around some clay in front of the dirt. A 4-pitch walk. Ian Kennedy and Zach Greinke had something in common tonight. The two starters, they are the only pitchers who have made at least 50 starts for the Royals and the Diamondbacks. And Ian had maybe the best season of his big league career pitching for Arizona. Back in 2011, he went 21-4 for Arizona.
Scott Alexander, he prefers righties, even though he's just a few points below the left-handed average. He likes it because, you know, that heavy sinker, a lot of ground balls to the left side. But he's having a hard time finding the zone. But hopefully he'll be able to get him to hit a little routine ground ball to Eske. Get out of this inning.
Two and one. 21 wins for Ian Kennedy back in 2011 with Arizona. He has the 4th most wins all time in Diamondbacks history and the 4th most strikeouts. Talking about his release point with Jason Vargas. Martinez is at second, Lamb's at first, and now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Pollock. Well, 2 times when you never want an injury, and we talked about it right before the playoffs. And another time you don't want an injury is right before the regular season begins. And a couple of years ago, the Royals were in Arizona for some exhibition games after spring training. And A.J. Pollock broke his elbow and had to have surgery in a game against the Royals. 3 balls, 2 strikes on a close pitch.
Pollock choking up on that bat an inch and a half. That's good. He's going to put the ball in play somewhere. That's where he wants. And Alexander wants him to hit it on the ground right at Escobar.
Fouled away. Moylan got the first 2 outs. He got Iannetta on a ground ball to short. Then he struck out Goldschmidt. Martinez doubled. Alexander came on and walked Lamb, and now he gets a strikeout. So no 2-out rally for the Diamondbacks. To the bottom of the 6th. And the Royals lead Arizona 2-1.
Way to go, Scotty boy. Up 2-1 here, 6th inning at the K. Parents, there's still time to sign your kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew to get your little ones all geared up for the new school year. This year's membership includes a Blue Crew jersey flat bill cap, special edition earbuds, Royals eye black, 2 home game vouchers, and much more. Membership is just $30. Join now by visiting Royals.com/Blue Crew.
Eric Hosmer leads off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Mary Ann Lambers from Leawood. We had a Sonic Slam last night, so the pot tonight is $100 for a home run. A grand slam out of the park, and Mary Ann wins 25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. And this is Patrick Corbin making his first relief appearance after going 14-13 for the Diamondbacks as a starter. Hosmer drills it to left center field, and it's run down by Peralta. Hosmer's driven in 1 of the 2 runs tonight. He is 1 for 3.
Yep, Corbin is a left-hander, and you can see that record starter, but you never know what's going to happen in the postseason. So listening to the manager this afternoon here, he was talking about Patrick Corbin wanting to let everybody know that he still has plans for him, but he's going to put him out of the bullpen for now just to make sure they have a good strong left-hander out there that they can trust, keep him fresh, keep him going. Next few games here they might use him more, but still very valuable. We know how important that bullpen is going to be for postseason.
1-2 on Moustakas, who has a couple of singles tonight. He is single to right and he is singled to center. Two and two.
The Arizona media was asking Torey Lovullo why Corbin is out of the bullpen, and he said, to maximize our chances to win. There you go. Good enough reason. He's got a good fastball, low to mid-90s fastball. He's got a little cutting, sinking action to it. Slider change, big curve there.
Ground ball, Descalzo with a jump throw, and Mike Moustakas has a 3-single night. We talked about him before our broadcast tonight. Here are some of his memorable moments. The first one, a home run in Game 1 of the division series in 2014. He also homered against Baltimore. That's the defensive play that everyone's going to remember, going into the dugout suite. That was the home run that was reviewed in the championship series, and there he is running across the field to hug Eric Hosmer after the final out of the World Series, and then waving to the fans during the World Series parade.
8 straight postseason wins. It's another thing that hadn't been brought up a lot in 2014. That was pretty impressive. Has never been done before. Had never been done. Moose is incredible. Home run, Anaheim, all those.
That was the year 14 where he was sent down to the minor leagues. He was hitting 150. Came back up and did not hit one home run in September. None. And then he had 5 in the postseason, setting a Royals record. And it would take a while to count all the big hits in those 2 postseasons, but if you started to rank them, that home run in extra innings, Game 1 of the division series in Anaheim, as far as just continuing the Royals momentum as Moss walks. A lot of people felt like, oh, that was a great game in the wild card. Good for Kansas City. Too bad they have to go play the Angels, who have won 98 games, and they got to play them in Anaheim. Great story, though. Great story. Well, the pressure was on as soon as Mike Moustakas hit that home run in Game 1, and then Eric Hosmer had a big home run in Game 2, and that was the second of 8 postseason wins in a row. But Mike Moustakas doesn't hit that home run, and the Angels win Game 1 of that short series. That's just a 5-game series. That might have been it.
That's right. An hour south where he grew up. Important for him. That was huge. He'll tell you that was in my backyard, even though Dodger Stadium really is his backyard. That was huge, man. Amazing. Waking up that next morning after that wild card, and there was the big A. We're thinking, really? I can't believe we're even here. Sure, the players felt the same way.
Ball 1 on Escobar. Esky is sliding to right, and he's grounded into a double play.
Right man, right spot here.
Two and 0.
That was just a bluff. Way Esky's swinging the bat right now, the last thing he wants to do is bunt.
And now the entire infield and catcher Chris Iannetta will have a conference with pitching coach Mike Butcher. Well, this is Corbin's first relief appearance of the year, and it comes in game 160, so a completely different routine to get ready. And he's given up a line drive to deep left, a single, and a walk.
It's pitching coach Mike Butcher's second season with the Diamondbacks.
Three and 0. Alex Gordon is on deck. Alex led off the fifth with a walk against Greinke, and then Butera walked, knocking Greinke out of the game. The Royals had 2 on, nobody out, but did not score, and now trying to make up for that here in the sixth. And Eske rips on 3 and 0 on a fastball that was cutting in on him. 3 and 1. Now 3 balls 2 strikes, so way ahead in the count, and Eske has helped out Corbin. It is 3 and 2.
Yep, Eske a little bit over anxious here. Haven't seen him swing out of the zone like this. It's okay to take a walk, even though we know he doesn't like to.
And he comes back to strike him out. 2 down.
You can see all those pitches were all down and out of the zone. That last one was the closest one to a strike. And then you got him.
Two on, 2 out. Alex Gordon is struck out and he is walked. Lays off a breaking ball down. That one's in for a strike. Back up through the middle, and that was ideal for Descalzo, running it down, and he didn't have to break stride to pick up that ground ball and go to second base for the force on Moss and end the inning. Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all, for less. Royals lead 2-1. Royals took the lead back in the third inning on a home run by Whit Merrifield. Ian Kennedy gave up 1 run in 5 innings. Peter Moylan and Scott Alexander combined in the 6th. And here's Kelvin Herrera. And he'll get Descalso, Drury, and Marte the lower third in the 7th.
Herrera, fastball, slider, changeup. Fastball's upper 90s. Slider's a good effective pitch to both lefties and righties. Changeup's upper 80s.
Fastball strike to Descalso. He has flied to center twice. The second one in the 4th inning required Lorenzo Cain running to the warning track. Broken bat, and Moustakas was playing in, so he has a short throw, but Hosmer had to stretch into foul territory for the first out.
What a nice adjustment there by Haas. Hosmer on that bag is beautiful. He's able to show so much range, not only with the width of his arm length and his height, but he's able to come off the base and stay in back of the bag. He doesn't have to go forward. A lot of first basemen will go forward to try to catch the ball in front of you, and it limits your range totally. I was watching today on MLB Network, and Billy Ripken did a little diagram with a goalie, a soccer goal in back of him, and back of the first baseman. And he showed what kind of range you could have by a first baseman using the back of the base and using both feet, and how much range you could really cover. It was very interesting, and Haas does that. Because, you know, typically you go forward, you know, when a first baseman catches the ball, you're moving forward to catch the ball and try to stretch, but you limit yourself when you do that only.
Or if you reach into the baseline, you put your arm in a very vulnerable position, and he learned that in high school for that very reason, that if there was a throw to the home plate side of first base, rather than reach into the line, step back and receive the throw on the other side of the baseline. That's off of Esky's glove, and Drury has an infield single.
Slider stayed up. Escobar might have had a shot at him, but Drury runs pretty well. I don't know.
And now Marte, the shortstop, number 9 hitter. He is late on a fastball. He is 0 for 2, which includes a bunt attempt in the 5th inning, which ended up being a pop out to Whit Merrifield at second. Hit well to center field. Cain is there. Cain has been everywhere tonight. Marte is frustrated after making contact like that against Herrera and making out.
Lorenzo's legs are feeling much better. I can tell by watching him. Ned giving him a day off and letting him be just a DH, that really helped him a lot.
7 putouts of the 20 outs. So 1 of 3 have landed in, roughly 1 of 3 have landed in his glove. And now Peralta. Changeup fades outside. Peralta has flied out to Kane, and he has walked and struck out. One and one. Herrera was both good and efficient last night in the final game with the Tigers, needing just 8 pitches to get through the top of the 9th inning. And he's now had 4 consecutive scoreless outings leading into tonight, and he only gave up 1 hit in those 4 outings. Tonight he's given up an infield single. Shallow left. So make it 5 consecutive scoreless outings for Herrera. It is stretch time at Kauffman Stadium, and time now for deeper coverage brought to you by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. Here's Joel.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. A pitcher's duel here. Whit Merrifield with the go-ahead home run, 1 shy now of 20. Ian Kennedy, his best outing in quite some time, and Zach Greinke tuning up before getting ready for the wild card next week. Our T-Mobile deeper coverage of baseball. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery out here in left field. And what a nice way to end what's been a frustrating season at times for Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, Ian Kennedy looked great tonight. 5 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts on the evening, in control of all of his pitches. That's what he really wanted to see to finish off this 2017 campaign.
It looks like the Diamondbacks will host the Rockies next Wednesday, but that's the only spot that is not official. Our big story, magic number of 2. The Rockies, they just need to win and then see if Milwaukee will lose the game. Their magic numbers are 2. Charlie Blackmon, one of the best players we've seen all year.
Well, we had a chance to see him late August here in Kansas City when the Rockies were in town. He went deep once here in Kansas City. A big one tonight for those Rockies.
He hit his 37th. So did Nolan Arenado an inning later in the second. So the playoff brackets look like this. It is more or less set. And with the Rockies up big against the Dodgers, that would knock the magic number down to 1. And then the Brewers, if they were to lose, that would clinch it. But the Brewers right now are up 4-1 against St. Louis. Playoffs are going to be awfully fun.
It's so interesting to see this time of year. Seemingly the team that's hot going in is a team that has a best chance. A lot of teams have outstanding records on the season. It'll be anyone's game. Get hot at the right time.
All right, Ryan, let's go back up to you. A lot of talent this year. We have seen it with the Royals in the National League West.
And the Royals are 7-10 against the National League West this year. Next year they will shift to the Central. Drew Butera will lead off against Patrick Corbin. Corbin, the Diamondback starter, is making his first relief appearance tonight. He got around an infield single and a walk. Key for him in that inning. He had fallen behind Alcides Escobar 3-0 and came back to strike him out. And now he's 0-2 with Drew Butera.
No, he's got some nice breaking pitches. 2 of them, a slider and a big curve, so he's got more depth to the curveball. But watching him pitch, he's very deceptive. It's impressive coming back on Escobar. He's down 3-0, and he came back and had Esky swinging at those nasty breaking balls down around his ankles.
Little bit outside, 2-2. Royals scored both of their runs against Zach Greinke, who went just 4 innings. Three balls, 2 strikes. And ball 4. Leadoff walk for the Royals for the 2nd time in the last 3 innings. And now the top of the order coming up. Watch the drive to the pennant with MLB.tv. Catch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go. MLB.tv every night, every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Terrence Gore runs for Drew Butera. And Whit Merrifield at the plate. He has a single, a home run. His home run was his 19th of the year, and there's a backdoor slider for strike 1. Gore is 2 out of 4 at the major league level this year in stolen base attempts. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talking over Corbin's move with first base coach Mitch Meyer. He's finishing out the regular season in Rusty Kuntz's spot. Well hit into left center field, and Peralta is there. Went into a slide, and Gore is back to first with 1 out.
It was well struck, no doubt about it. He had some topspin on it, tried to get it down, but Peralta had a good beat on it.
Now with 1 out, let's see if Gore takes a shot now that he's seen Corbin for a few pitches. Lorenzo Cain is 0 for 3, and now still at 299. And now Gore sees his move.
That's what he's waiting for. Pretty good one too. A little hesitation there by Corbin.
Was that his best move? Cain takes a fastball for a strike.
And one of these times, whether it's Whitley at first or now the bench runner, a guy that can steal, Locaine wants to ambush one of those first pitch heaters. He knows a fastball is coming. That's the best pitch to try to prevent the base stealer from stealing. Gets the ball home quicker. Look for that as a hitter. Busted. But he's doing a nice job trying to give the runner a couple of pitches to steal on. But sometimes you have a hunch that heater's coming. Be ready. Locaine can do damage.
Got the call. Lorenzo doesn't like it. to center field and down for a hit in front of Pollock. And Gore is headed to third. Only Terrence Gore can do that. A line drive on one hop to center field, and he goes first to third.
Built low to the ground. Loke, nice hit on the breaking ball there. That was really clean. Ball was down low, and he just raked it out there. Went down that back leg, helped him drop his leverage there. And you know, Gore, it was basically a tease. He was going to take on Pollock all the way. Wasn't sure here. Watch him slow down. No chance to get it. It's time for a little insurance. Melky's like to come through here. Elevate one. Look up in the zone.
Outside with a breaking ball.
Try to stay away from the ground ball double play here. That's for sure. Stay inside of the ball with your hands. Shoot it to right. Scalzo, second baseman, playing him to pull. Big hole over on the right side.
Diamondbacks get the out at second, and a double play. Royals have stranded 7 in 7 innings, but they lead 2-1 to the 8th. With a franchise record for home runs this year, and that's the only non-home run. Eric Hosmer driving in Melky Cabrera in the first. Jake Lamb hit his 30th in the second to tie the game, and then Whit Merrifield hit his 19th in the third against Zach Greinke, and that's it. 2-1 Royals into the 8th inning. Mike Moustakas has 3 hits, all singles. Whit Merrifield 2. On the pitching side, Ian Kennedy went the necessary 5 and gave up just 1 run. Paulo Orlando is in right field. Cam Gallagher is the new catcher, and he just got done warming up Joakim Soria in the bullpen, and they came into the game together.
Joaquim's been really good since he's come off that disabled list. It's helped him. Fastball, slider, curve, change, split finger. Just 1 home run this year. He's been a lot better in that category, that's for sure. That's impressive. Slow curve he'll use at times, you know, to a hitter like Goldschmidt. Split fingers, excuse me, that's Iannetta. Split finger's been excellent. He's been executing that at the knees to the dirt. That's exactly where you want to execute that pitch. Beauty.
He'll get the 2, 3, 4 hitters: Iannetta, Goldschmidt, and Martinez. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Still 3-2. And Iannetta is on with a leadoff walk. Drew Butera led off the bottom of the 7th with a walk, and Ned Yost went to a pinch runner, Terrence Gore. And let's see if Torey Lovullo does the same thing in the top of the 8th inning. Yep. Ildemaro Vargas will run for Iannetta. Goldschmidt has struck out 3 times. Kennedy got him twice, and then Moylan got him in the 6th. Inside corner, strike 1. He has struck out 146 times this year, which is par for the course. Power hitter, 36 home runs. 1 ball, 1 strike. .36 home runs, ties a career high that he set 4 years ago. One and 2. Do you hear La Cucaracha in the background?
I do, especially with the split finger coming. Be careful with the slow curveball. Make sure you keep it down. Don't hang it. Split finger is coming right here. There it is. Either one of those. The heater away. Make sure it's way off. Oh.
Line to right, but Paulo Orlando was deep.
That'll work. It was off enough. Strikeout pitch was a split finger. But Cam Gallagher and Joaquin Soria know better than I do. Got the out. Goldschmidt barreled it.
And Paulo Orlando had just been put into the game for defense.
Good thing.
JD Martinez doubled his last time up. He is 1 for 3.
Oh no! Hit!
He did not go around. Chad Fairchild is the umpire at first. One and 1 on JD Martinez. We were talking early in the game about how good he's been since going to the Diamondbacks, but how about his September? 16 of his 45 home runs have come in September. 1 shy of the major league record, Albert Bell and Babe Ruth. How many times when you're talking about a team that hits for power, you say, well, they're not the 27 Yankees. And Babe Ruth had 17 home runs for the 27 Yankees in the month of September. He also has driven in 36 in the month of September.
It's amazing. What a way to finish strong. And you know, when you get player of the week one time during a major league season or one time in your career, that's awesome. But he's got it 4 times in 1 year. That's incredible. It's the first time that's ever happened since they started giving that award out in 1973.
One and two.
I asked him about that today, what he felt about getting that player of the week 4 times. He shrugged his shoulders and says, just doing my job. Real humble guy.
Nick Kenny comes out.
Twist his ankle. Let's see. Looked like he was carrying it. Yep, a little slight tweak. Looked like.
So 2 and 2 on JD Martinez. 3 and 2.
Tough part of the order right here for Joaquin.
Grounded to Moustakas. And the Royals turn a double play.
Way to go, Jack. Roll him up. 5-4-3. Give the kids a souvenir here. Yeah, exactly what he wanted. That's right.
Donations to be able to provide disaster relief immediately. So help people affected by the recent natural disasters by visiting redcross.org or texting the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Corbin gets a ground ball to deep first, and Corbin goes to the bag after the feed from Goldschmidt. Eric Hosmer is 1 for 4 with an RBI tonight. John Ryan Murphy takes over behind the plate. The Diamondbacks ran for Chris Iannetta in the top of the 8th inning. This is Corbin's 3rd inning tonight in his first relief appearance of the year. Allowed a base hit and a walk in the 6th, a base hit and a walk in the 7th, and now 1 out in the 8th. And Mike Moustakas was thinking first pitch breaking ball. No balls, 1 strike.
3 hits tonight's got Moose's average up to 275. That last hit was his 10th infield single.
0-2. There you go.
Oh, that's a Moose.
And one of the ushers coming in and saying you can't hold that up in the middle of an at-bat. Now they can hold it up, or maybe not. So 3 pitches. Corbin strikes out his 2nd, and now he gets Brandon Moss, or does he? So it was set up for a lefty-lefty. It'll be Fernando Rodney. And when he gets to the mound, he'll face Brandon Moss. As he warms up. 2 more games to go, and tomorrow night it's Jacob Junis against Taijuan Walker, and then Jason Vargas going for win number 19 up against Robbie Ray, who's 15-5 and has struck out 217 this year. '40-year-old Fernando Rodney doesn't apply tonight, but if Rodney can get a save before the season is over, he would join Mariano Rivera as the only pitchers in big league history with 40 or more save after the age of 40. Oh, 0-1 on Brandon Moss.
Rodney, he still can bring it. Low 90s, slider. His best pitch is his changeup. 5'11", 230. He's put together. A lot of experience. Changeup's hard to hit even when you know it's coming.
Mike Minor gets ready for the top of the 9th inning. The Diamondbacks will have Jake Lamb, A.J. Pollock, and Daniel Descalzo. 1-2. Moss stayed back on a changeup and hits it into center field. He is on with 2 outs.
Nicely done. Moss knew it was coming and he hit it. He just made me I don't want to say a liar, but I just said you could know it's coming and it's hard to hit, but he did. He got it. Nice job. That's because he didn't try to pull it. He went with it. Moss typically likes to pull the ball. Good swing.
Escobar gets a fastball at 93. Oh, 2. Rodney has had as many as 48 saves in his career. He's done it twice. Most recently with Seattle in 2014. No swing. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Rodney gets the strikeout. So Mike Minor will go for his 5th save. Royals lead 2-1.
Diamondbacks trying to close it out here in the 9th. Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery out in left field preparing for Boulevard Royals Live. We'll join him up there in just a little bit as we'll talk about the strong performance of Ian Kennedy as he is looking for his first home win of the year. He was excellent, plus Whit Merrifield keeps doing it again, now 1 shy of 20 home runs and making a bit of history with that. We'll break down Whit's night, hear from Ned Yost, and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live as we near 2 games remaining on the 2017 schedule.
And it'll be Mike Minor going for his 5th save. 4 of the 5 save opportunities have been 1-run games.
This would be huge right here for Minor, but really a lot larger for Ian Kennedy.
Jake Lamb has accounted for the only Arizona run, a home run to right against Kennedy in the 2nd.
Good spot. Mid-90s. He might hit some 96s, 97s. Slider, changeup.
Kennedy went 5, giving up 1 run and striking out 7. Strike, and it's 1-2. Ian Kennedy has gone 18 consecutive starts at home without a win. And now he's 2 outs away from putting an end to that long streak.
Beautiful. Stayed up, but still, it fooled him. That's all that matters.
And now Minor's waiting on Pollock to dig in. That's below the knees, ball 1. Pollock is 0 for 6 against Minor. He is 2 out of 3 tonight. Changeup, 1 ball, 1 strike.
3 above average pitches.
Two balls, 1 strike.
Minor's had an outstanding season this year. They weren't sure when the season started how he was going to react after not pitching pretty much for 2 years. Had a little bit of action, but not much. Coming off shoulder surgery.
3-1.
Ends up finishing the season as a closer.
And frustrating for him in that he pitched so little and he had the surgery, but it was exploratory surgery. He had tried everything to get his shoulder pain free. It just wasn't right, so they went in there to try to find something. Now Pollock is on with 1 out, and there wasn't an obvious problem. They cleaned up a few things, and Mike Minor gives the Royals training staff a lot of credit, because when he came here, it was just the rehabilitation, the strengthening exercises. Nick Kenny, Kyle Turner, Jeff Blum. It was just the rehab and the strengthening of Minor's shoulder that got him back.
Fantastic job, though, fellas. Way to do your job. Get these guys out there on the field so they can produce.
No pitcher ever wants to have surgery on his arm, but if they do, I think the worst thing you could hear is, well, we really didn't find anything. We just cleaned up a few things here and there.
Anything, you have peace of mind that everything's all right. And that's a lot.
0-2 on Descalzo. Got him looking. 2 strikeouts, both looking in the 9th inning.
Minor just coming out throwing BBs. Nicely done. Well executed. And here it is. Oh, Scalzo, you got to go.
$23,488 are here tonight. Many of whom are here to see this collection of Royals for the last time together. One ball, one strike. Brandon Drury is the designated hitter. Just about everybody is standing and chanting, "Let's go Royals." And a fly ball into left center field. Lorenzo Cain is there, and the Royals take game one, 2-1. And Ian Kennedy is off the hook. He has now won one of his last home starts.
Way to battle, Ian, and got some help from the pin to win. Fantastic job, all them arms that came out there to bring the smiles on their faces. Hey, one down, 2 more wins to go, back to 500.
Not much offense, and the difference tonight, Whit Merrifield leading off the 3rd inning against Zach Greinke, our Honda play of the game. That was his 19th home run of the year. And
it was a beautiful stroke. I'm telling you, that ball was just crushed down that left field line over the foul pole. And in this case, it was a fair pole.
So Ian Kennedy finishes his season giving up just 1 run in 5 innings. And it was Kennedy and the pen to win. 5 relievers tonight.
Look at his teammates.
He had gone 18 home starts in a row without a win, which is really not like Ian Kennedy. He had never gone more than 6 in a row at home in his entire career. But now he can go into 2018 and not having to worry about that.
That's huge.
And Royals Vice President Mike Swanson went into the dugout, and he is dragging Ian out to have a chat with Joel. And before the interview begins, Salvi cools him down. So Joel, I guess that makes him official.
I think is that your first official Salvi splash?
That's my first one. 5 and dive gets you that, I guess.
No, but let's talk about that. You could have gone more, but you go 5 innings, you give up 1 run. You finally get that home win. How good does it feel just to finish on that note?
Feels really good. Like Ned talked about getting a start this week, and I honestly had no idea about the home start. My wife said something about this morning, and as I was walking, and she apologized for that. But sometimes you confused, and when we go out there, you don't really know if you win or lose. But so long as the team wins, that's all that matters to me.
Maybe that's what it took. Your wife needed to let you know, or maybe when you have your 5th child and your first boy, maybe Isaac's the good luck.
Yeah, so they're at home right now watching the game. Yeah, so it's been a little crazy around the house, a little crazy schedule last week. So it's been pretty awesome to throw a little boy in the mix in our house.
How have you been able to focus on all of that, bouncing between flight to flight and trying to get home and then back to your team and back home and here to the mound?
It's tough. I've kind of had schedules like that in the past with little babies, but it's not a lot of sleep and being efficient with all your time and spending time with these guys and just doing my best as I can. I do on the mound. Sometimes it's not great, but it's been a rough year injury-wise and all that things, but I do the best I possibly can in order to pitch for our guys.
Last thing, and yeah, you finish on a high note, so something to build on for next year. But you've had the chance now to spend 2 years with so many of these guys that have meant so much to this town that you now live in. How special is this weekend and this group?
They're awesome. When I came here, they made me feel really comfortable. They're a really close group. And, some of these guys, if you're going to play with again. And, I like someone like Duffy, it's even tougher. They've been around in the minor leagues all the way to the big leagues, won a world championship, lost a World Series, and there's been through a lot. And I'm lucky to be a part of it. I was brought here last year, and I'm so happy just to be a Royal.
Congratulations on the win. More importantly, the baby, and we'll look forward to 2018.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. Ian Kennedy getting the win. The applause from the crowd. Come on, guys. 5 and dive? No. He pitched very well tonight.
Well, he has done more than just come to Kansas City. He lives in Kansas City, and he and his wife Allie have been a blessing to the community. Tomorrow they'll be hosting another group in a dugout suite. Ian can enjoy that, and a victory tonight. Royals win it 2-1.